Good morning, everybody. It is July the 6th, 2017. Time to kick off another trading day. And we have a lot of news today. We have news tomorrow, and then we'll have all sorts of supposition about what's going to happen in, I think it's Hamburg tomorrow and Friday. All sorts of supposition about what's going to happen between Trump, the low experienced negotiator, going against the likes of which he's never seen before, the G20 leadership. So I think Trump will probably do better than they think he will. We'll start with our disclaimer. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Unlike an actual performance record, simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Well, stocks outside of the Chinese market and equities are lower around the globe. They're citing higher interest rates as the reason. The German and Japanese bond markets prices are lower, interest rates are higher, and that supposedly is spilled into the stock market. So it's pretty unusual that we see the two complexes moving directionally the same way without a major economic piece of news, and we didn't have that last night. So there is a lot of news today. Challenger had 51,000 in layoffs last report, only 31 this time. We've got the ADP number, 180, looking for 170 tomorrow, and the non-farm payroll number. We've got jobless claims at 244. No one will pay any attention to that. PMI services 53. ISM services 56.5. And crude inventories minus 2.4. For crude, the APIs last night minus 5.76. Gasoline drew 5.7. We're at the height of driving season. They needed to see that number, and distillates built 400,000. So they're expecting a draw in crude, probably larger than the 2.4 that's forecast right now. The news focus will be ADP and ISM services, and perhaps the direction of the E-mini. I think we've got a downward bias. I want to sell into the first rally, so 31 to 03, sell 1. May have just missed that in the X period. 7 to 11, sell 2. On the buy side, 24 to 28. I think we're going a little bit lower. If we can buy against this high volume number right down here at 18, I think structurally that would be great. So we got a high volume number at 26 and a high volume number at 28, low volume number down here at 20.5. So our best support is going to be down here 16 to 18. And that gives us our second buy of 17 to 21. 24 to 28 is pretty aggressive. Boy, yesterday evening was just delightful. It was 85 degrees and no wind, and the humidity was reasonable. Pretty nice on the deck. Okay, having to revise my bond numbers lower here. So we had, starting out this morning, 20 was the first support, then 13 to 16. So we'll make number 1 12 to 16. Buy 1 5 to 9. Then 29 to 01. On the sell side, 24.28, number 1. 31 to 03, sell 1. 7 to 11, sell 2. Gold was up a little bit last night. Several articles out about the inflation forecasts not being met. Switzerland's CPI came in lower than forecast overnight, so the trend is still there. And again, since March of 2009, deflation's been the battle that the central banks have been fighting. So we had number 2 sell last night was 28 to 30. We're at 22. Top of value right here is 26. So 25, 27, sell 1. 29, 31, sell 2. On the buy side, I think we can trade a little bit lower here. I don't think the bottom's going to fall out. So 19 to 21, buy 1. And then 15 to 17, buy 2. Yesterday's low was 12.17. Okay, what is really interesting, if you look at, and I used to get it a lot from my daughter, who unfortunately went to NYU, about what constitutes intelligence. And for a lot of people, a lot of the world is being articulate. Constitutes intelligence, and we know that's not true. I mean, but you have a whole industry in the government, and the rest of it is really built on word crafting, built on process, built on appearances, which is like the television industry is too. And so they put a premium on being able to speak in a certain way, look a certain way, etc. And Trump's outside the box, and so a lot of the attacks on Trump are really get down to how he uses the language, and they really, because of that, he's characterized as ignorant, a buffoon, a fool, whatever they come up with. But if you go back and look at what he's done with his private life and his private career, he's been pretty darn successful. So he had to get a few things right, but he doesn't get any credit for that. So all this talk about him being outclassed and not being able to perform right on the world stage, I mean, every time you turn around, it's being disproven. And my guess is that all this stuff written about him and being a failure and a flop at G20 will prove not to be true also. So we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, structurally, when right here we're looking at 1445, 1440, 1435, 1438. So 35 to 45 is prime resistance right here. So we'll make it sell 1. And then we'll make 65, 75, sell 2. And on the buy side, last rotate down stopped at 1408, so 14, 1410 buy 1, and then 1375 buy 2. You know, Trump supposedly will meet his match with all the expertise and intelligence that he's going to run up against in Europe. And you know, if you go back and you look at how well they've done managing their affairs, etc., you might question their intelligence. So, you know, all this, most of the stuff we we're exposed to and faced with, or barraged with, is the way I like to put it, is for the most part not true. It's a fabrication. It's a fable. So I think he'll probably come out of Europe a little bit better than he's being written about right now. Okay, 46 bucks right here. We've got looking probably at a 40-cent trading range in crude oil, minus 5.76 for crude. The draw on the APIs, the estimate is minus 2.4. Now these numbers don't have, I think there's been 3 or 4 times where we've had a build in one and a draw in the other so far this year, so they're not necessarily lockstep. But my guess is that our market is playing for a draw bigger than 2.4. Finally had a big draw in gasoline, minus 5.7. They've been waiting for that. That was probably the most supportive thing out of the APIs, and the distillates up 400,000 barrels. So my guess is they're looking for a draw greater than 2.4. So we'll put 46, 46.25, sell 1, 46.50, 75, sell 2. And I'm picking up this spill right here in my sell 1. My sell 2, I'm picking up the top of value in this break right here. That's sell 2. On the buy side, probably gonna have to pay up to get in early. So 45.25, 45.50, buy 1, especially given the news, and 44.75, 45 even, buy 2. And looking at the E-mini, I'm not too excited about the reasons given for the stock market selling around the globe. But if we come here and just look at it structurally, and something Pat was going over with me yesterday, the weeklies, notice where the market needed volume from the preceding week, and notice where we've built volume so far this week, and that goes right into there. That normalizes, and the I don't use weeklies all that much, but it's structurally, you can see right here, if we go to the longest line of letters and left click, we may have started a new distribution down from 24.25. So where might we find support? Well, right here, basically 24.08, 24.10. We've got the 24.14 level right here. That might be it. And then of course we have the low down here just above 2400 at 24.02. So we'll play with those a little bit today. Steve Lyon is going to be on today at 10:30 talking about his next week's class. Hopefully Mickey will show up. I gave Steve's email address to Mickey yesterday, so hopefully that works. So right now we've got basically 24.15 plus or minus as support. Then I've got that K period low down there at 8 to 10. So 14 to 16, a little bit lower, buy 1. And then 9 to 11, buy 2. Like I said, I'm not really all that comfortable with the reasons given for the selling overnight. 24.26, sell 1. And 29.31, sell 2. Best resistance is at 40, and best support has been 15 to 20 of late, and we're in that level. That number's held up, so we'll see if it does again today. ADP, big number, 180. ISM services, 56.5. Those are the two numbers stock market should key off of today, and if the numbers come in as forecast, that would fundamentally be supportive. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up, posted, get around. I'll get busy on that. I'll be back with you as soon as possible.